Part 16. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 151. I'm so excited, it's finally starting. Yes, the Saint list, the most anticipated competition, lists countless geniuses, ancient geniuses, absolutely wonderful. This time, I have put all my wealth into it. I must change my fate against the odds. Master June, Master June, Master June. Young Emperor Lin, Young Emperor Lin, Young Emperor Lin. At this moment, countless women are madly cheering for the genius they support, giving them a feeling of being a crazy fan. Oh no, brothers, we can't pull him down. Empress Minjiao, Empress Minjiao. White hair is the best. At this moment, countless ancestors and bosses of the imperial clan have gathered in the private rooms and the accord. In the Xuanhuan family's box. Ha ha ha, brother Xuanhuan, it's been a long time since I last saw you. I didn't expect that the young boy I once had was already so close to the emperor, and with the bonus of destiny, becoming emperor is just around the corner. A rich and handsome man said with a smile, and a surge of imperial power continued to surge. This person is none other than Emperor Lin's father, Lin Hai, a newly awakened emperor. After Emperor Lin learned that his father had regained consciousness, he went to Sui to beat him for several days until he lost consciousness. He wanted to prove to his father that he was worthy of the title of the son of the great emperor. Haha, brother Lin Hai is ridiculous. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Emperor Xuanhuan said with a smile. Hey, if I hadn't been sleeping, I would have had a hand in whatever the Dark Valley said. I really didn't expect that Dark Valley would be destroyed by adults. You know, when I first heard the news, I almost fainted. Lin Hai said regretfully. Brother Lin Hai, do you want to meet the adults? Emperor Xuanhuan said jokingly. No, 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 forget it. I don't dare to face adults. That kind of psychological oppression is really terrifying. Lin Hai shook his head hurriedly and said. Don't worry, you are different now. You just feel like a mortal. Xuanhuan said slowly. Then, there's Brother Lao. After hearing this, Lin Hai couldn't refuse any more. He knew that Emperor Xuanhuan was giving him an opportunity. By the way, Brother Xuanhuan, has that girl Minjiao really obtained the inheritance from the great emperor? Of course, it's just that this girl won't even reveal her father to me. I don't know who she is specifically. Xuanhuan said with a wry smile. Haha, it seems that Minjiao's name must be in the top 10 of the saints list. Brother Lin Hai, your son is not bad at all. You must know that on the previous list of geniuses, your son was ranked in front of Minjiao. Hey, in this life, there is nothing to be proud of. The only pride is the son, but now it seems like that's all. Lin Hai looked regretful on the surface, but his pride was not hidden at all. At this moment, Shui, Minjiao, Miao Miao, and Lin Di slowly came to this accord. Dad, why are you looking for me? The game is about to start. Father. Emperor Lin said respectfully after seeing Lin Hai. Ha ha ha, come on, let me introduce you. This is your uncle Lin Hai. He just woke up. Emperor Xuanhuan said in introduction. Ming Yu, I have met Uncle Lin Hai. I often hear my father talking about you. Xuanhuan Minjiao said it elegantly and dignifiedly, not showing any embarrassment at all because Lin Hai was a great emperor. And when Lin Hai entered the state of Minjiao, his eyes were full of admiration. For a saint to be so calm and composed in front of a great emperor, it shows that his heart is as solid as a rock. In fact, Xuanhuan Minjiao's character was completely developed in front of Li Bai. Haha, Minjiao, it's our first time meeting you. Uncle Lin Hai didn't prepare anything, so I'll give this to you. Lin Hai waved his hand, and a ball of taboo origin appeared in the box, constantly exuding taboo aura. Ah! Xuanhuan Minjiao and Emperor Lin were stunned. Why were they so generous? Emperor Lin, I am your biological child. Oh, oh. Dad, this. Xuanhuan Minjiao, unable to make up her mind, asked Emperor Xuanhuan for help. Take it, this is your Uncle Lin Hai's heartfelt wish. Well, Minjiao would like to thank Uncle Lin Hai. Dad, where's mine? Lin Di on the side couldn't help but ask. What? I'm your son, why don't you give me a ball of forbidden origin? Lin Di said blankly. Okay, if you win the title, let alone 1 regiment, even 10 regiments, I will find them for you. Lin Hai said slowly. Ah, let's forget it. Emperor Lin said bitterly that if there was no little Tyrannosaurus like Shui Yi, he could barely charge forward. Cut, little hot chicken. Lin Hai said disdainfully. The body of Taiyan is a pretty good talent. Huh? Damn it, the body of disaster is still the body of disaster that has awakened. Hiss, something's wrong, there's an inexplicable power. Brother Xuanhuan, these two are. Lin Hai looked at Sui and Miao Miao and said. This, named Li Sui, is your disciple. This one is called Luo Miao Miao, and is Shui Yi's. What's that word? Best friend, Dad. Yes, best friend, found by adults in the lower world. After hearing these words, Lin Hai was stunned instantly. This identity is too scary. After a long time. The adult's apprentice. Uncle Lin Hai, hello, just call me Shui Yi. No, don't, I can't bear this title, just call me Lin Hai. Lin Hai hurriedly refused. Shui Yi's generation is much older than his, maybe he will call her, Shui Yi grandma. This is too rude, if my master knows, he will scold me to death. Little Shui Yi hurriedly said. Okay, brother Lin Hai, call me whatever you want. Didn't I say that you are no longer the same person as before? Okay. It seems that the leader of the saint list this time is no longer a suspense. Lin Hai looked at Shui Yi and said. Of course, after all, she is your disciple and has been carefully taught by Nan Yi. The Queen of Nan Yi. Nonsense. Terrible, too terrible, who can compare with the fairyland genius? Son, this time, Daddy won't make it difficult for you. As long as you enter the top 10, I will give you a ball of forbidden origin. Then, Lin Hai said to Lin Di. Seriously, Daddy? Of course, after all, no matter how awesome you are, you can't beat little Shui Yi. Dong. 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 Accompanied by the long bell sounds, the saint list is just about to begin. At this moment, on the stage in the middle, an old man with a celestial appearance from the Tianji pavilion said to all living beings. Everyone, you have been waiting for a long time. I will not waste any more time here. The saint list is officially opened. This time it will be decided by drawing lots. The winner will be decided in one battle. Any method, even vicious and cruel tricks, can be used. No one can interfere regardless of life or death. But you can shout surrender at any time in the middle. At that time, the opponent cannot continue to attack, otherwise he will be directly disqualified. In fact, although it is said that life and death are not important, basically no one will die as long as it is not a one-shot kill. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 152. This time, there are thousands of Tianjiao participating in the saint list in the entire Kangtian immortal realm. Although the number is large, the number of creatures in the entire Kangtian immortal realm is billions. Of course, there are certain conditions for participating in the saint list. Not just any saint can participate. There is a certain age limit. Otherwise, it will take more than 10 years to decide the top 10. Then, one by one, the saints Tianjiao slowly entered the venue. They were of different ages. Some just came to broaden their horizons. Anyway, if they met Jun Wuodao and others, they would just shout to admit defeat. As long as I shout fast enough, death can't catch up with me. After Jun Wuodao, Zhang Changkan and others appeared, there was a burst of cheers and shouts at the scene, most of which were female cheers. Wow, Mr. Jun, so handsome. Woo, marry me, please, marry me, Mr. Jun. Mr. Zhang, Mr. Zhang. Hey, isn't that Ye Fan, the son of the Ye family? There's been no news about him in the past 5 years. I thought he had fallen. Yeah, I just don't know how strong he is in the past few years. It can't be bad. After all, he is a Taoist immortal, and he is the son of the Ye family. Bless me, God bless me, don't draw those perverts. It's my first time participating in the Tianjiao conference. I won't fall directly in the first round. Many saints and Tianjiao kept praying in their hearts, hoping that they would not run into perverts like Jun Wuodao. As time passed, the first round of drawing lots ended soon. Boom! Hundreds of battle platforms rose from the ground and slowly appeared in the center. They were covered with crystal clear protective shields, with a stream of charm flowing on them. The purpose was to prevent anyone from intervening. Then, the old man of Tianji Pavilion slowly read out the names of the two opponents. Jun Wuodao vs. Zhang Changkan vs. Ye Fan vs. Long Yi vs. Li Suiai vs. Xuanhuan Minjia vs. Lin Di vs. After hearing that they were fighting against these people, some Tianjiao instantly looked ashen and their hearts sank to the bottom of the sea. No. Hee, I'm so lucky, I'm numb. Forget it, just admit defeat. The rest of the Tianjiao were extremely grateful, fortunately there were these unlucky guys to support them. At this moment, a Tianjiao gnashed his teeth and almost cried. This person was Zhang Bufan, who was on the Human Emperor list before. When he was on the Human Emperor list, he thought that he could definitely get the top spot with the blessing of the system, but he almost got beaten to shit by Luo Miao Miao. However, fortune and misfortune are interdependent. Soon, relying on the rewards of the system, he successfully broke through to the Saint Realm on the second day after the Human Emperor ranking ended. Then he naturally signed up for the Saint ranking. The condition of the system reward is that the more Tianjiao you fight, the richer the reward you get. However, I never thought that I would meet Jun Wuodao in the first round. At this moment, Zhang Bufan felt extremely wronged. Isn't he a child of heaven? Why did all the bad luck happen to me? I can encounter it with a probability of 1 in a few thousand. In a sense, he is indeed a child of heaven. Host, don't be discouraged. You are a man with a system. I believe you. Get out. Do you know how terrifying Jun Wuodao is? You can't beat him anyway, and now he has the Desolate Town Sutra, which makes him even more powerful. This time he can't beat him even more. Zhang Bufan kept cursing in his heart. Well, ahem, considering the host's luck, as long as you can hold out for one move in Jun Wuodao's hands, you can get all the rewards. The system also felt that Zhang Bufan's luck was really bad, and at this moment it was doubting whether it had chosen the wrong person, and whether it should imitate a senior and run away. Really? Of course. Okay, let's try it. Although Zhang Bufan couldn't defeat Jun Wuodao, he was still confident that he could hold out for 1 or 2 moves. Hey, that person, isn't it Zhang Bufan who participated in the Human Emperor ranking and won the 2nd place? Why does he look so familiar? Has he broken through the Saint Realm? Tisk tisk, this talent is also terrible. It's a pity that he met Jun Wuodao. Should I praise him for his good luck or bad luck? Then, accompanied by the sound of bells, the battle began. Damn it, I give up. I give up too. I give up too. Suddenly, Just at the beginning, more than a dozen Tianjiao shouted "I give up" in unison, and it spread throughout the scene in an instant. There was no way, if they didn't give up, they might die. Ha ha ha, it's so funny, look at the expression of the Minjiao Emperor's daughter. I haven't moved yet, why did you give up? As long as I shout fast, don't even think about doing it. Everyone present couldn't help laughing at this scene, but they all understood that after all, these people are perverts and there is no possibility of winning at all. At this moment, on Jun Wudeo's platform, Jun Wudeo, dressed in black, with a cold demeanor, restrained temperament, and a face like a carving by a magic axe, a desolate atmosphere, filled the entire battlefield. My opponent is not you, you give up. Jun Wudeo's voice as gentle as jade came slowly. When Zhang Bufan heard this, he was instantly angry. The man who looked down on him so much was at least a man blessed by the system. He, Jun Wudeo, don't look down on me. Although you are awesome and I can't beat you, I still have confidence that I can hold out against you. When Zhang Bufan's words reached everyone's ears, they were instantly confused. What do you mean, is he afraid or not? Afraid, but not completely afraid. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. Listening to this, although he is cowardly, he is not completely cowardly. Funny, it's really true. Are you sure? You will die. Jun Wudeo reminded lightly. He, of course, if you really can't hold on, the worst thing is to admit defeat. Zhang Bufan said with a sneer. Desolate god palm. Boom. The next moment, Jun Wudeo didn't waste any words and blasted out with a palm. A huge palm print, wrapped in this unparalleled desolate breath, rushed towards Zhang Bufan. Everything around him seemed to become extremely silent, without breathing, without life, only a desolate land. Sneak attack, I'm not ready yet. Zhan Tianshu, first move. Zhang Bufan shouted, but in an instant, he regained his composure, and then mobilized all his strength to swing the sword. The power attached to the sword is a bit similar to the Zhentian Dao of Zhentian Dragon Emperor, but it is much weaker. And Jun Wudeo, after feeling this ray of Zhentian power, a ray of light flashed in his eyes. Zhentian Dao. Boom. The horrible aftermath of the explosion continued to stir up dust all over the sky. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 153. At this moment, in the private room of the Teiku Dragon clan, an elder's eyes widened instantly, his face filled with puzzlement and doubt. This power is the Zhentian technique, the secret technique of the Zhentian Dragon Emperor, the secret technique of our Teiku Dragon clan. How could it appear in the hands of outsiders? Impossible. How is it possible? Could it be that Zhang Bufan has obtained the inheritance of the Zhentian Dragon Emperor? Order it down, check it out for me. Yes. The rest, in the private room of the Emperor clan. This power, seems to be the Zhentian way of the Zhentian Dragon Emperor. Could it be that this kid has obtained the inheritance? Impossible, the Zhentian Dragon Emperor has only fallen for a few years, and it was a sudden death, so there should be no inheritance left. It's very simple, this secret technique is a reward from the system. As a product of the heavenly Dao, it is naturally able to possess the various methods of the deceased emperor. This is not surprising. Of course, for the existence of the Qing Emperor, the system does not have this ability. At this moment, all the creatures in the field focused their attention on Jun Wudeo's battlefield. Sister Minjiao, who do you think will win? Sui I asked slowly. Do you need to ask? It must be Jun Wudeo. Linda said casually. Yes, it must be Jun Wudeo. The gap between the two is too big. Whether it is realm, talent, or physique, Jun Wuodao is in a crushing posture. Xuanhuan Minjiao said slowly. But I always feel that there is a familiar breath on this Zhongbufan. Sui frowned and said slowly. Familiar. Yes, it is familiar, but I can't say it. Everyone has their own secrets. This Zhongbufan, who can go from a servant of the Holy Land to today, is already a heaven-defying act. Linda said slowly. On the other side, Long Yi of the ancient dragon clan, at this moment, his golden eyes were full of murderous intent. Damn it, the heaven-shaking technique is the secret technique of our dragon clan emperor. How could it fall into the hands of outsiders? No, we must take it back after the game. Such a humble creature is not worthy of possessing the secret technique of our ancient dragon clan. But, Emperor's son, many forces have already set their sights on Zhongbufan, and he is indeed very talented. Some of the Emperor's clan want to recruit him. A follower of Long Yi asked worriedly. He, so what? It's not too much for us to take back what belongs to us. Yes, Emperor's son, I'll go and give the order right away. Yes, he is worthy of being my, Zhang Chang'an's biggest opponent. No, there should be that body of disaster. Zhang Chang'an's eyes were full of solemnity. He didn't care about the outcome of this battle. No matter how powerful Zhongbufan was, he was definitely not Jun Wuodao's opponent. He only cared about two people, Jun Wuodao and Li Sui. Even Xuanhuan Minjiao, who had inherited the emperor's legacy, Zhang Chang'an didn't take it too seriously. Of course, if he had completely digested the emperor's legacy, it would be different. The former not only possessed the desolate divine body, but also obtained the desolate realm sutra, and her strength was terrifying. The latter, because he had never seen her use her full strength, and as a girl, her physical strength was terrifying. Soon, the dust dissipated, and Jun Wuodao's figure slowly appeared. There was no difference from before. He was still dressed in black, and every strand of his hair was shining with divine light. On the other hand, Zhongbufan's face was covered with blood. I admit defeat. Zhongbufan said slowly. Now he really understood the strength of the top genius of the Kangtian immortal realm. It was just one palm, and it was an extremely casual palm. If it weren't for the blessing of the system, he might have fallen just now. But fortunately, he survived this move. You are very good to be able to survive my palm. Jun Wuodao said lightly. Haha, thank you, Mr. Jun, for showing mercy. We have a long way to go and see you later. After Zhongbufan finished speaking, he went down the stage to heal his wounds. But Jun Wuodao didn't take this sentence to heart. In the huge Kangtian immortal realm, there were very few people who could be his real opponents. Tisk tisk, although Jun Wuodao looks really pretentious, he has the strength to do it. Yes, I also want to pretend, but the conditions don't allow it. As time went by, everyone felt a little sleepy. The people who had fought before either surrendered immediately or were defeated in one move. Now the remaining ones were all equally matched opponents. They preferred to watch the battle between Jun Wuodao and others. Soon, all the matches were over. No one fell in this battle, and there were also many dark horses who defeated the strong. In the final analysis, it was also remarkable. The second round of battles is officially open. The rules are still the same this time. If you feel that you are not strong enough, you can surrender directly. The old man of Tianji Pavilion said slowly. Tisk tisk, it's really exciting, especially Jun Wuodao and others, every time they are defeated in one move. It's cool to watch, but it's not satisfying. I didn't expect that there would be a few dark horses. In this way, after 2 rounds of battles, the number of Tianjiao left on the scene was less than 1 in 10. There were originally thousands of them, but now there are less than 100 Tianjiao who have survived until now. Who of those who can survive until now is not a dragon among men and has a great reputation? The remaining Tianxiao, as expected by everyone, are all well-known people, but there are also many dark horses who have gone against the current and succeeded in counter-attacking. The most eye-catching one is a man in black with a sword. His name is also very strange, called Wu Feng. By the way, have you noticed that the man in black with a bamboo hat always uses a sword, and the most outrageous thing is that there is an ancient Tianjiao who can't stand a sword in his hands. He looks unfamiliar, he should be a rising star. I just don't know which force he is from. The 5 major sword forces have never seen this person. Keep watching, maybe he can surprise us. At this moment, Jun Wuodao, Zhang Changkan, Xuanhuan Minjiao, and others were resting in the audience. When they saw the man in black with a bamboo hat, their hearts palpitated involuntarily. This person is not simple. Jun Wuodao said solemnly. This is the first time I have seen someone you praise so much. It seems that this person will be a strong opponent. Minjiao, what do you think about this? Zhang Changkan looked at Xuanhuan Minjiao and said with a smile. Jun Wuodao is right. This person must not be taken lightly. You should still remember the first one on the Tianjiao list, right? Xuanhuan Minjiao said slowly. When they heard this, Lin Di, Zhang Changkan and others were stunned for a moment. Their breathing became rapid and they felt the pressure doubled instantly. Even Jun Wuodao was the same. That person was like an insurmountable sacred mountain, as heavy as 1,000 kilograms, always pressing on their hearts. Xuanhuan Minjiao, what do you mean? Jun Wuodao licked his dry lips and said slowly. Yes, you should be able to guess it. 9 out of 10 times, it is that person. Do you think a battle maniac like him can miss the opportunity to fight with us this time? Xuanhuan Minjiao said heavily. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de La Chang. Chapter 154. Wu Feng? Is this his honorable name? Grandma, if it's really him, the pressure will be great this time. I heard that no one has ever forced him to use the second sword. Even if he did, he would be dead. Lin Dian swallowed his saliva and said slowly. Haha, I won't know until we play against each other. I think I will meet this former number 1. Zhang Changkan's eyes were full of fighting spirit, and his 6-path reincarnation body could no longer hold back. At this moment, in the Xuanhuan family's box. This genius named Wu Feng is not simple. Even I can't see through him. Emperor Lin Hai took a sip of the fairy tea and said slowly. It is indeed not simple, and there is an extremely weak breath of reincarnation on his body. It is not a body snatching. Could it be that he is the reincarnation of a certain sword emperor? Emperor Xuanhuan said thoughtfully. It's almost the same, but he probably hasn't awakened yet. Emperor Lin Hai said slowly. Haha, I'm really curious as to which sword emperor is the reincarnation of this person. On the other side, the creatures present are getting more and more excited. The most exciting battle is about to begin. I almost fell asleep after watching the previous battle, without any reversal. The 4th round of battle begins. The old man from Tianji Pavilion said slowly. The rules this time are still the same, draw lots. Most of the battles between the two sides were still the same, and there was not much suspense. They were all in a crushing state. Until the last round of battles appeared, the scene gradually became lively. Emperor Lin, fight, Xuanhuan. Boom. Everyone at the scene burst into shouts like a mountain roar and a tsunami. It was finally the turn of these perverted geniuses to fight. Ha ha ha, finally the wonderful battle we have been waiting for is here, between a young emperor and the eldest prince of the divine dynasty. You, Emperor Lin, please don't lose, otherwise I will go bankrupt. It's hard to say. Since the Dark Valley, Xuanhuan's strength has increased dramatically under the guidance of their Emperor Xuanhuan. Coupled with his own talent and understanding, this is destined to be an anxious battle. Why do you care so much? Let's just watch it and enjoy it. Afterwards, Emperor Lin and Xuanhuan slowly stood on the fighting stage. Haha, I didn't expect that we would meet so early. Emperor Lin said slowly. I didn't expect it either, but since there's nothing I can do, I can't give up. Xuanhuan spread his hands and said slowly. Me too. In that case, let's warm up first. The two looked at each other, their fighting intent reaching the sky. Xuanhuan, Xuanhuan dynasty, the eldest prince. Emperor Lin, the young emperor of the Lin family. The two exchanged names. Although they knew each other, they still had to have the proper etiquette. Boom. In a flash of lightning, the two of them were fighting hand to hand. Their fists clashed, stirring up huge amounts of dust. The entire battle stage was trembling. Feathering divine palm. Xuanhuan pushed out with one palm, endless waves surged, and the terrifying power continued to impact the rules of the road to the platform. God King Fist. Emperor Lin was not to be outdone. A shadow of a God King appeared behind him and punched out. Of course, he was not a real God King, only a saint. Boom. This time, the entire arena was trembling to varying degrees, especially the creatures who were close to it, who felt it the strongest. Damn, it's so fierce, this is just a physical fight. Damn, this is just a warm-up, what will happen if you get serious? It's too scary. They could probably kill me with just one punch. Nonsense, after all, they are the top talents of our Kangtian immortal realm. Immediately, the two men launched various terrifying moves and fought for tens of thousands of rounds in a short period of time. Until the end, it was difficult to catch the two figures with the naked eye. The speed was staggering. All I could hear was deafening explosions. At this moment, the opposing platform made of meteorite gold was torn to pieces and in a state of disarray in the extreme hand-to-hand fight between the two. After the last move, everyone rushed back. At this moment, both of them looked slightly embarrassed. The warm-up is over, it's time for us to get serious. Emperor Lin said slowly. Haha, come on, I've been looking forward to it for a long time, and this is what I mean. Feather into thousands of feathers. Xuanhuan roared, and a pair of huge black and white wings appeared behind Xuanhuan. It was the Xuanhuan's transformation body. And the feathered Dao body will eventually go through a series of transformations and become the most powerful body, the god demonic body, which is the physique of the feathered emperor. However, this possibility is too small. In the entire Xuanhuan dynasty, except for Emperor Xuanhuan and Xuanhuan, no one else can transform. Therefore, Xuanhuan was also identified as the most promising to become the second Xuanhuan emperor. Whoosh! 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 The feathers all over the sky turned into a rain of arrows and rushed towards Emperor Lin. The power was terrifying and boundless. If it were an ordinary genius, it would be difficult to deal with just this move. Well done! Emperor Lin roared angrily when he saw this, his whole body exuded a divine light, his sword skills were monstrous, his hair was shrouded in divine light, and his divine power was majestic. At this moment, Emperor Lin looked more like a young emperor. This is exactly the physique of Emperor Lin, the eternal sword body. Even among all kendo systems, it is considered one of the best. Immediately, a long sword engraved with countless divine patterns and emitting golden light appeared in Emperor Lin's hand. Eternal swordsmanship, void slash. Emperor Lin roared angrily and swung out his sword. Buzz. The dazzling sword light illuminated the entire arena, and even the saints and geniuses who were still fighting were also affected by the sword light. The sword light passed across this place, the void continued to shatter, and the wind of void continued to blow all living beings. Fortunately, the protective shield on the ring continued to shine with charm, repairing the broken void. Damn it, this is the terror of a peerless genius. I can't take this sword. Tisk, tisk, It's too scary. This Emperor Lin is so much stronger than before, so much. At this moment, Xuanhuan and others also ended the battle early, and then looked at the platform where Lin Di and the two were facing each other. After seeing the move above, several people looked calm. They were absolutely sure to take this sword. Xiao Linzi feels stronger again. Shui Yi said slowly while eating snacks. He, who asked you to be his sparring partner all the time? Didn't you realize that every time he fights with you, Emperor Lin's cultivation level will improve by 1 point? This Emperor Lin not only has a super strong physique like the eternal sword body, but also has a heart that is constantly lacking. If I didn't have the inheritance of the great emperor, I wouldn't have the confidence to beat him. Xuanhuan Minjiao quietly reached out and took some snacks and said slowly. Sister Minjiao, your little hands are not very clean. I immediately protected these snacks like a calf. You can hit me, but you are not allowed to try on my snacks. This is the last dignity of a foodie. Humph, you're so stingy. Xuanhuan Minjiao wrinkled her nose and said. Not enough, not enough. This sword is too weak. Emperor Lin, don't let me down with your eternal sword body. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 155. At this moment, Wu Feng, who was dressed in black and wearing a bamboo hat, stared at the sword light and said with a little disappointment. The opponent in this round was still solved by him with one sword, but this time it was different. The Tianjiao who fought against him this time was a son of the Purple Forest Holy Land. However, he overestimated himself and thought he could resist the sword. The three major illusions in life are that I am the protagonist, she likes me, and I can kill her back. I never thought that I would fall in the end. This almost made the elders of the Purple Forest Holy Land unable to help but take action, but in the end, after seeing the eyes of the old man Tianji, they suppressed their anger and calmed down. Although the rule is life and death, who can really stay calm when it really falls on their own forces? Damn it, who on earth is this Wu Feng? The holy son we spent so much energy to cultivate was killed by a sword. These elders could only be furious, because there is another rule, that is, after the Tianjiao conference, before the God King, they cannot attack him, otherwise they will be collectively attacked by the 10 imperial clans. After the God King, they don't care what happens. This also gives these Tianjiao a chance to breathe. At this moment, on the battle stage, the sword light of Emperor Lin constantly collides with the feathers in the sky, and sparks fly. One feather after another is cut off by the sword light and turned into nothingness. Afterwards, the two sides fought for hundreds of moves, and the creatures watching the battle were so excited that even the Tianjiao who were fighting reached an agreement to stop and watch the battle between Emperor Lin and Yu Huachan. Good opportunity, sneak attack. Ah, damn, you have no martial ethics, you said you would stop first. Sorry, who told you to be so naive? This is called, all is fair in war, attack the enemy by surprise, only then can you win. Damn, I've used all the military tactics, you don't want to be a fool. Although Lin Di and Yu Huachan kept fighting, it was still difficult to tell the winner, the strength of both sides was not much different. If this goes on, I guess we'll have to fight for several days. How about this, one move to decide the winner, how about it? Lin Di said slowly. Okay, that's what I meant. Then, the two stopped one after another, constantly gathering the spiritual power of their whole body, and they were bound to decide the winner with one move. Haha, you have to be careful, I can't control myself with this sword. Don't worry, if I'm really inferior to you, I admit it. After that, Lin Di slowly closed his eyes, the momentum around him continued to accumulate, and waves of invisible waves continued to impact the sky. A sword intent that could tear the sky apart filled the entire venue. After feeling the sword intent, Xuanhuan and the others all frowned. They had to admit that this sword was extremely terrifying. The power before the move alone was enough to scare countless Tianjiao away. Emperor technique, sword drawing and sky slashing technique. Emperor Lin took a deep breath and said slowly. Then he held the sword with both hands and swung it out. The sword shone brightly in the sky, slicing through the sky, and even the protective shield was slowly broken at this moment. In the Xuanhuan family's box. Damn, brother Lin Hai, isn't this your emperor technique? Emperor Xuanhuan said with his eyes wide open. Haha, I didn't expect that this kid actually mastered this emperor technique, ha 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 ha. Lin Hai looked at the scene and laughed heartily. He originally thought that it would take at least several decades for Emperor Lin to perform this sword, but he didn't expect that he would master it in just a few months. My son has the appearance of an emperor. Although the power of this sword seemed as weak as an ant in his eyes, don't forget that Lin Di is only at the saint level now, and he hasn't even mastered the Dao. Being able to perform an imperial technique is extremely evil. Drawing the sword to slash the sky is worthy of this name, Lin Di. I hope you won't let me down when we fight. Wu Feng looked at the sword, and his eyes flashed with endless fighting spirit. This was the battle he wanted, regardless of life and death, and he fought to his death. At this moment, Yu Huachen's eyes flashed with an extremely strong and heavy color. He felt that he could not resist this sword, but he had to try anyway. Yuhua! Yuhua roared, and his Yuhua Dao body was pushed to the extreme by him. Boom! On the sky, thunders descended one after another, constantly pouring into Yu Huachen's body. At this moment, he was like the god of thunder, controlling all the thunders in the world. The pair of white wings behind him were also replaced by lightning, and turned into a pair of lightning wings. The breath of destruction continued to burst out from Yuhuachen, as if to destroy this world. Yuhua, fallen heaven strike! Yuhuachen roared, his eyes full of lightning. Boom! An extremely thick black divine thunder blasted down, rushing straight to the dazzling sword light. At this moment, countless creatures widened their eyes, not daring to miss any details. The extremely dazzling light detonated in the center of the platform. The scene like a star explosion was reflected in everyone's eyes, and the aftermath of the explosion continued to cut the cheeks of the creatures like a sharp sword. I'm so excited, this is a real battle. They are both saints, why is there such a big gap? I feel that the previous battles were unnecessary. Wouldn't it be better to just let these perverts fight? Then I have to ask the short and weak author. After a long time, the dust in the sky gradually fell to the ground, and the figures of the two slowly appeared in front of all living beings. Who won? I don't know, both of them are standing. Puff! Yu Huachen and Lin Di could no longer support their weak bodies, and spit out a mouthful of blood. It can be said that this move of both sides exhausted all their spiritual power. In the end, Yu Huachen was one move short. He, brother Lin Di, I lost. I have to say, this sword is amazing enough, one sword frosts 14 states. Yu Huachen said weakly. If it weren't for the fact that I only recently realized this move, I might not be able to beat you. Lin Di also said weakly, but he was much stronger than Yu Huachen. Lin Di wins. At this time, the old man Tianji said slowly to all living beings. The cheers were as deafening as a tsunami, especially those of the Lin family's princes, who looked crazy. The young emperor is awesome. Ha 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 ha, I knew the emperor's son is the most awesome. Woohoo, my immortal crystal is saved, Emperor Lin, young emperor, I love you. On the other hand, the people of Yuhua dynasty only fell into a brief depression, and then their eyes became full of determination. They firmly believed that the eldest prince could definitely be found in the future. Besides, after all, Yuhuachen is a few years younger than Emperor Lin. If the two were the same age, it would be hard to tell who would win. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 156. Ha ha ha, Emperor Lin, this battle is the most exciting battle in my life. We will have a chance to compete again in the future. It's a pity that I didn't make it into the top 10 and failed my father's expectations. Xuanhuan said with a wry smile. Brother Xuanhuan, there's no need to be like this. We can only blame our bad luck. We met in this round. It's a pity that there is no draw. There will always be a loser. In the future, if there is a chance, I will definitely compete with you again. Emperor Lin said slowly. Then I'll wait for Brother Lin. At this time, a voice came from Xuanhuan's mind. My son, don't be depressed. You have done your best. Your father is proud of you. Hearing this, Xuanhuan's eyes were once again filled with unprecedented fighting spirit. He didn't really care whether he lost to Emperor Lin, but whether he had disappointed his father. When Emperor Lin saw Xuanhuan's state, he also smiled knowingly. It was an honor to have such an opponent. These two Tianjiao give me a feeling of mutual respect. Yes, the outcome of this battle is actually not important. Both of them are the top Tianjiao, and their future achievements are limitless. It's a pity that if Xuanhuan was the same age as Lin Di, the ending would be really hard to predict. Afterwards, the remaining Tianjiao also finished fighting one after another. Now there are only 20 Tianjiao left in the whole field. Basically, they are all the people who were at the top of the Tianjiao rankings before. At this time, the old man of Tianji Pavilion said to all the creatures in the audience. Everyone, today's competition is over. Tomorrow, the top of the saint list will be decided. Ah, it's over, I haven't seen enough. Me too, it's so cool and exciting to watch. Forget it, dusk has fallen, just wait until tomorrow. On the other side, Lin Di and others found Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan, how are you seriously injured? Xuanhuan Minjiao asked slowly. Thank you, Princess Di, for your concern. I'm fine. Let's go. I'll treat you today. Let's go have a good drink. Lin Di put his arm around Xuanhuan's shoulders and said slowly. Ha ha ha, of course. It's hard to meet a bosom friend in life. I'm also satisfied to meet an opponent like Brother Lin. After that, the two of them ignored Xuanhuan Minjiao and Shui, and went to Xuanhuan's restaurant with their arms around each other. Why do they seem so gay? Xuanhuan Minjiao raised her eyebrows and said. Oh, Sister Minjiao, we don't know each other without fighting. Let's go quickly. I'm almost starving. I must have a good meal with Lin Di today. Shui urged hurriedly. The night slowly fell, and a clear moon rose slowly. The cold moonlight spread over the vast imperial city, wrapped in a layer of silver plain clothes. At this moment, the imperial city was brightly lit and full of discussions. Tomorrow is the final battle. Who do you think has the best chance? At the moment, it's not certain. I think Xuanhuan and Li Sui are both possible. Li Sui, is she the body of disaster? Yes, didn't you see that she always solved the problem with one punch? This kind of physical strength feels stronger than the ancient race. I think it's these few people, Xuanhuan, Zhang Changkan, Li Sui, Long Yi and Ye Fan. Don't worry about it. We'll see tomorrow anyway. However, tonight, an explosive news spread to every corner of the imperial city. What the hell, that Wu Feng was the previous number 1 on the Tianjiao list. Who said that? Tianji Pavilion. Ah, this. Damn, can I return the immortal crystal and bet again? Damn, no wonder he can kill an ancient Tianjiao with one sword, and I am a newly born emperor's son of a certain force. At this moment, Xianyu and Minjiao and others also learned the news, and were not surprised. After all, they had guessed that this person was Wu Feng, the extremely mysterious Tianjiao list leader. Minjiao, it seems that you guessed right, he is really here. Lin Di took a sip of wine and said slowly. Hey, I didn't expect it to be him. I remember it has been 7 years since he last appeared. You watch inside. That's right, since he topped the Tianjiao list, he has never been seen since then. Tomorrow will be a fierce battle. I hope I don't meet him in the first round, otherwise, I don't know how to fight. Lin Di said with a wry smile. He once tried to challenge Wu Feng, but in the end, he couldn't even withstand a single sword strike. Therefore, the sword that defeated him became an indelible shadow for Lin Di. Sister Minjiao, is this Wu Feng so terrifying that he can make you lose your soul? Sui asked doubtfully. Sui, you have been staying in the lower realm before, so you naturally don't understand the horror of Wu Feng. It can be said that all our Tianjiao, including Jun Wuodao, Zhang Changkan, Yefan and others, have challenged Wu Feng, but in the end, no one could withstand a single sword strike. His sword intent is too terrifying, so terrifying that it doesn't seem like someone at this age can master it. It's just like facing a great emperor. Now 7 years have passed, and no one knows how much his strength has been raised to, and how terrifying it is. Xianyu and Minjiao kept talking. Ah, so terrifying. Xiao Sui opened her oily mouth and said slowly. What are you afraid of? Lin Di rolled his eyes and said. You said it's so scary, of course I'm scared. You're so scared. If you want to say who has the best chance of defeating that prodigy, it's you, the little humanoid Tyrannosaurus. Huh? What did you say? Shui glared at Emperor Lin and said. Ah, it's nothing, you heard wrong. Shui, if you encounter Wu Feng tomorrow, you must not take it lightly. I know you are very awesome, but it is best to be careful. Minjiao reminded that although Sui was extremely powerful, after all, she had been following Li Bai before and had never really participated in the killing. She had a simple mind and might suffer in one respect. Yeah, I know Sister Minjiao. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 157. The next day. Early in the morning, countless people poured into the arena. A large part of the reason is because of the news released by Tianji Pavilion last night. Countless creatures want to see with their own eyes the true face of the former leader of the prodigy. Soon, it was time to fight. This time, the one who presided over this battle was an ancestor of Tianji Pavilion, Emperor Tianji. The imperial power is vast, filling the entire arena. Then, an old man with white hair and ridges on his face slowly walked out of the void. Emperor Tianji doesn't feel that oppressive. After all, his vitality has declined to the extreme and he is on the verge of death. Like a candle in the wind, it will be extinguished at any time. Let's meet Emperor Tianji. Let's meet Emperor Tianji. Seeing this, countless creatures knelt down and worshipped. This was also a hero of the immortal realm. He had made great contributions to the immortal realm. After all, his injury was the irreversible damage caused in the last attack on the immortal realm by the outside world. Ahem, this time, it may be the last time I will host the Genius Conference. I have no regrets about being able to see the young talents in the immortal realm today. I hope that you can all take protecting the fairyland as your own responsibility in the future and shoulder this responsibility. Emperor Tianji said slowly to the geniuses, his words full of hope. You, this junior, are ignorant and must obey the emperor's orders. Junior Zhang Changkan. Junior Xianyu and Minjiao. At this moment, the 20 geniuses, except for Li Sui, all said this from the bottom of their hearts. Li Sui didn't know why, but she always felt that she had no intimacy with the immortal realm, as if she was an outsider, and she didn't know why. Belonging to this fairyland. Okay, in that case, for the top 10 this time, when it's over, come to Tianji Pavilion, and I will help you calculate the future for free. After Emperor Tianji finished speaking, he retreated into the void. Hearing these words, Xuanhuan and the others' hearts surged unconsciously. You must know that it is simply impossible to ask Emperor Tianji to spy on the future now. There once was an emperor who wanted Emperor Tianji to help his descendants calculate the future, but was ruthlessly rejected. No matter how tempting the conditions offered by this emperor were, Emperor Tianji ignored them. He only helped those who were destined to spy. Future. After all, every time you peek into the future, a certain amount of life will be consumed. At this moment, the 20 geniuses are ready to make a move. As long as they survive this round, they can go to the central immortal domain to participate in the ultimate battle. Immediately, the rules are still the same, the decision is made by drawing lots. Xuanhuan fights, Li Feng. Zhang Changqin vs Wen Renj. Xianyuan Minjia vs Zhang Xian. Wu Feng vs Long Yi. Li Suiai vs Ye Fan. Upon hearing the two sides fighting this battle, countless creatures instantly went crazy. Damn it, Long Yi is so unlucky to be the first to face Wu Feng, the leader of the Tianxian Proud List. Ha ha ha, fortunately I didn't bet on Long Yi. At this moment, when Long Yi heard about his opponent, his face instantly went blank. He was not afraid of everyone present, except Wu Feng. Because once, he had an arm cut off by Wu Feng's sword. Damn it, the body of disaster versus the body of Deifixian, some people watched it. The white hair is the best, come on, goddess in snow clothes. Countless men shouted crazily for Li Suiai. Basically, they were betting on Li Suiai to win the first place. At this moment, on the battle stage, Long Yi and Wu Feng looked at each other. Haha, why, the former leader of the list of geniuses, don't dare to show his true face. Long Yi suppressed the anger mixed with fear in his heart and spoke slowly. I see, are you the dragon? Wu Feng said slowly. Unexpectedly, you still remember, I spent countless days and nights wanting to kill you. It's a pity that with your strength, you are not qualified and you are not worthy of letting me show your face. Wu Feng said lightly. Shameless talk. The ancient blue dragon fist. Long Yi roared angrily, and instantly burst out with extremely terrifying power, punching out. Hold head high. A huge dragon head appeared, accompanied by bursts of dragon roars, resounding throughout the sky. When Wu Feng saw this, he also punched out with a flat punch, without any fluctuation in power, as if he punched out at random. Haha, if you compete with me physically, you are seeking death. Disdain flashed in Long's eyes. If Wu Feng used his sword to attack, he would naturally be extremely frightened. However, if it were a physical body, he would not be afraid of anyone at all. After all, he belongs to the ancient Kanglong clan and is famous in the 10 immortal realms for his physical body. Among the entire ancient dragon clan, the physical body belongs to the top existence. Boom! The huge explosion shook the sky and scattered the sky. Countless creatures covered their ears involuntarily, and their eardrums were almost shattered. Immediately, the two figures quickly retreated backwards, only to stop at the edge of the ring. At this moment, Long Yi's face was full of disbelief, his right fist was extremely red and aching. How is it possible? How can your body be stronger than mine? Long Yi roared in disbelief, how could a swordsman genius be stronger than the physical body of his ancient race? This is unscientific. Don't use your judgment to speculate on my level. I've told you before that you don't deserve it. Wu Feng said lightly. Holy shit, this Wu Feng's physical body is so powerful. You know, Long Yi's physical body is the strongest among the geniuses like Xuanhuan. Damn it, I can't let anyone live anymore, it's just that my body is awesome, my swordsmanship is also unparalleled throughout the ages. Countless creatures opened their eyes wide and looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. Court death. The phantom of the ancient blue dragon. Long Yi roared angrily. The void continued to tremble and shatter, and an ancient dragon that stretched across the sky slowly emerged. Its huge dragon eyes flashed with golden light, and the powerful sense of oppression suffocated countless people. Die to me! In an instant, along with Long Yi's roar, the shadow of this ancient blue dragon rushed directly towards Wu Feng with overwhelming power, bound to tear apart everything that passed by. The slash of time. Wu Feng said lightly, then took out an ordinary long sword, and then swung it. Buzz. At this moment, an inexplicable force brought the entire audience to a state of stillness, and time stood still. A white sword light slowly passed through the shadow of the ancient blue dragon without any hindrance. Click. Under this sword, the phantom was shattered, but the white sword light did not stop and rushed directly towards Long Yi. Phew. An arm rose into the air, and blood spread across the entire opposite platform. But Long Yi was still confused, as if asking, who am I, where am I, what am I going to do? At this moment, in the Xuanhuan family box, Emperor Lin Hai said slowly with shock in his eyes. This is a taboo, the avenue of time. That's right, although it was only a 10,000th of a second, it did stop the time in this space for a moment. Emperor Xuanhuan was also extremely shocked. It seems that we already know who the great emperor is. The Emperor of Time, the Emperor of Time, a mythical emperor. His grandma, this is simply too scary. A mythical emperor who has fallen long ago has actually been reincarnated. What method did he use to hide it from the immortal realm, heaven, and all living beings? Emperor Xuanhuan swallowed his saliva and said slowly. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 158. As for the rest, countless old antiques from the imperial clan looked at Wu Feng in disbelief, their eyes trembling constantly, as if they had seen something, the most incredible thing. From that moment just now, they all noticed that time had stopped passing. Immediately, a trace of greedy desire flashed in the eyes of countless people. The higher the level of the superiors, the more they can understand the importance of controlling time to them. No one wants to let go of this trump card. Pass this order, no matter what the conditions are, even if you are the head of the family, at all costs, we must bring this Wu Feng into our power. Yes, ancestor. Hey, if it weren't for the rules of the Tianjiao conference, I really want to enter this Wu Feng soul to see what kind of monster he is. It's simply too tempting. Elder, our ancestor hasn't found a physical body yet, why not? Damn, what a good idea, you little fool, I didn't mess with you in vain, pass on the order, no matter what, you must get this Wu Feng. Yes. And the 5 major sword sects will also not miss the opportunity to recruit Wu Feng. Grandma, this Wu Feng is decided by our Tianjian section, no one can control it, even if he wants to be the leader. Haha, the same is true for our Fi'io sword sect. Of course we at the Sword Tomb will not let go of such a talented person. Hey, our fairy sword sect is the orthodox one, what qualifications do you have? He. Oh, if you dare to scold me, I'll kill you. Damn it, what a dirty trick. At this moment in the ring, Long Yi also reacted. After feeling the heartbreaking pain, he couldn't help but roar loudly. How dare you? Long Yi endured the pain and looked at Wu Feng and said. In my eyes, you are just a loach. No matter how hard you struggle, it's just a matter of one sword. In a sense, you are not even as good as Emperor Lin. Wu Feng said calmly. On the other side, Emperor Lin, who was fighting, heard this and instantly showed an expression that was uglier than crying, "Oh, oh. Haha, I really appreciate your compliment. You are quite nice, but I always feel a little awkward." Emperor Lin kept saying in his heart. "Grandma, I just can't bear it anymore. How can he be so cool? He's so cool. If Li Bai hears this, he will definitely come over immediately to see who can be more pretentious than me. No one can take away the title of King of Force. If you had someone's strength, you would be more pretentious than them. Isn't this the proper way to be a protagonist?" Some creatures couldn't help but roll their eyes when they heard these words. And those ancestors of the ancient dragon clan, with their eyes filled with overwhelming anger, actually called them the ancient dragon clan as loaches, which was a great shame and humiliation. "How dare you, such dogs and rats, speak such arrogant words? After the God King, it is your death, even if you run to the end of the world. We will definitely kill all 9 of your clans." The ancient Azure Dragon technique. Long Yi roared, and instantly, a green light containing majestic vitality slowly appeared on Long Yi's broken arm. Long Yi was green. Suddenly, the new flesh and blood continued to squirm and grow, and a few seconds later, Long Yi's severed arm grew out again. This scene stunned everyone present. A broken arm was reborn, and in such a short period of time. Awesome. I almost forgot, this Long Yi is a Xuanhuan. The Xuanhuan, born from the ancient Azure Dragon and the ancient Azure Dragon clan, inherited the powerful body of the ancient Azure Dragon, and at the same time had the healing ability of the ancient Azure Dragon. If it hadn't been for Wu Feng, it would have been a perversion. Rebirth after a broken arm is nothing to the ancient Azure Dragon. After all, the healing ability of the ancient Azure Dragon is a supreme divine skill that can rival the Qing Emperor's Azure Lotus healing technique. The healing ability of the ancient Azure Dragon is unique among all the worlds. It is a pity that their strength is at the bottom of the entire ancient dragon clan. If it were not for the ancient Azure Dragon technique, they might all be removed from the list. Got it? At this moment, Long Yi felt scared in his heart. Fortunately, he only had one broken arm. Currently, his ancient Azure Dragon technique could only regenerate the broken limbs. If the head was cut off, there would be no way to save him. "Wu Feng, I want you to pay the price." Long Yi roared angrily and directly transformed into his true body. Then, his whole body was shrouded in fairy light. With a dragon roar that shook the sky, an ancient blue dragon slowly appeared in the sky. Compared with the grey dragon pupils of the ancient blue dragon, Long Yi's eyes, the pupils are turquoise. Long Yi has transformed into his true form. It seems he is serious. Yes, the greatest capital of the ancient dragon clan is its body. Only in this way can it exert its full strength. Light of the blue dragon. Long Yi roared, and in an instant, an extremely thick grey light rushed directly towards Wu Feng. The power at this moment was much more powerful than before. This move can be broken with one sword. Wu Feng said lightly, and then swung his sword. It was still a sword. This extremely strong light was directly annihilated by the sword. Then the sword light rushed towards Long Yi. It was a familiar scene again, as if it had been seen before, as if it had just been experienced. Shocking claws. The dragon's pupils shrank, and the dragon claws that covered the sky and the sun shot directly at the sword light with green light. At this moment, he already had a huge shadow on the edgeless sword light. Clang, clang, clang. Sparks flew everywhere, and the flying green dragon scales were scattered all over the sky, like a green rainstorm. Some smart creatures immediately collected these green scales everywhere. You should know that these are the scales of the great blue dragon. Although they are in a string, they are very defensive after being made into armor. This time, Long Yi finally resisted this light, and those scattered dragon scales grew out again in an instant. This is the abnormal healing ability of the ancient blue dragon technique. If you practice to the peak, even at the quasi-emperor level, you will not be afraid of any killing moves of the emperor. As long as there is a drop of blood, you can be resurrected infinitely. You can take my 2 swords, you are a stronger loach, or maybe you should call it an eel. You. Wu Feng, I tell you, I can not only take your 2 swords, but I can also kill you. Long Yi was furious. Everyone can brag. If you can't take it, you can just admit defeat. Losing is not shameful, but dying is shameful. This battle is boring. If you can take my sword next, I will admit defeat directly. Really? Of course. Okay, then I will take this place. This sword is called, Pure Destruction of the World. Wu Feng said lightly, and then a ray of pure annihilation light continued to emerge from the center of his eyebrows. In this ray of pure annihilation light, a flying sword that was sometimes empty and sometimes visible rushed directly towards Long Yi, and many pure white flowers grew along the way. Each flower contains a great power of purification. This power is a bit similar to the fire of purification of those bald donkeys, except that the fire of purification is only effective against the sins in the soul. Boom! At this moment, the sky is constantly shaking, the road is trembling, and this strand of the purest power of purification is constantly stimulating the nerves of every living being. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 159. Is this, taboo? Degree. The way of pure annihilation, how, is it possible? How can he use the forbidden way? Impossible, I am definitely dreaming. A saint is showing the forbidden avenue. Haha, kill me. Countless old antiques were dumbfounded after feeling the power of pure destruction. They would rather believe in the resurrection of the Qing Emperor than believe in a saint who can display and master a forbidden avenue. You would rather believe that she still loves you than believe that I am Qin Shi Huang. Yes, it is indeed the Emperor of Time. The power of pure destruction can only be exerted by him in all the worlds. Emperor Lin Hai finally firmed up his thoughts at this moment. This is the reincarnation of a mythical emperor. It's too evil. Besides, he hasn't awakened yet. Emperor Xuanhuan opened his mouth and said, even a heaven-defying person like the first Chongtong would not be able to master a forbidden avenue in the realm of a saint. At this moment, Long was completely numb. This was simply a dimensionality reduction blow. After this power appeared, there was only one sentence in his mind. I will die, I can't stop it, I will die. Just when Long Yi was about to shout I surrender, he found that he couldn't say it no matter what. Not only that, he fell into the same state as before, as if time stopped. Regardless of martial ethics, the promised sword is 2 humming moves. Long Yi was helpless and furious in his heart. Damn it, this Long Yi is scared to death, right? Hurry up and resist. It's over, I'm probably going to die now. There is no way. This power can only be relied on by a saint. There is no way to resist it. It is better to wait for death in peace. It will not be a happy death. Woo, what I care about is not this, but my fairy crystal. I was so excited at that time that I bet all on Dragon 1. Why am I blind? That's not right. You have to know that a genius like Long Yi can't possibly live without something to protect his life. One of the creatures asked in confusion. There is no way, God does not allow it to be used, it must have failed. Goodbye, little loach, no, little eel. Wu Feng said calmly and expressionlessly, as if he was really just slaughtering an eel. No. Long Yi kept roaring in his heart, he didn't want to die. He was the son of the dragon, a creature who wanted to become an emperor. However, all this was in vain. No matter how long Yi mobilized his spiritual power, struggled and resisted, it was of no avail. In front of this power of time, he was like an ant, unable to move or speak. How dare you, ants! At this time, the ancestor of the ancient dragon clan, who had been watching the battle, couldn't help it any longer, and immediately prepared to take action to rescue Long Yi. All rules, please get out of the way. Rules, no one can exceed them, otherwise, they will die. The next moment, an extremely old voice slowly came out, and a surge of imperial power directly imprisoned these ancestors of the ancient dragon clan. The person who took action was none other than Emperor Tianji. Old man, you're already humming buried, and you still dare to meddle in our affairs, get out of here. Tianji Pavilion, do you want to die? You have angered us, the ancient dragon clan, and you will not be able to reap the rewards. At this moment, these ancestors are close to dementia and completely crazy. Long Yi is the most outstanding talent of their generation, and he is also the person they are most optimistic about, who can become the great emperor in the future. This is related to their Kangtian immortal domain and the ancient dragon clan for thousands of years. Your destiny must not perish. Not even the great emperor can stop it. Damn, that's so shameless, as expected of the ancient dragon clan. Damn it, when Long Yi was killing those geniuses, why didn't they come out to stop them? Such an attitude, let alone the creatures of our Kangtian immortal realm. Bah, it's a dirty thing. Wu Feng is right, it's just a bunch of dirty loaches in a mud pit. After hearing these words, Emperor Tianji became angry instantly. The emperor's power spread throughout the heavens, the fairy land trembled, the wind and clouds in the sky changed, and layers of black clouds continued to roll in with the power of destroying the world. This is the wrath of the emperor. Haha, Lian Po is old, can he still make a living? What kind of cats and dogs dare to threaten me now? The world is declining. It seems that you have forgotten the old man's killing. They're just a bunch of ants. If you want to die, I can make it happen. If you don't move around, all the bones in this old man's body will soon become rusty. After Emperor Tianji finished speaking, he took action directly against the ancestors and elders of the ancient dragon clan. In an instant, the emperor's power spread throughout the Kangtian immortal realm. Although the Tianji emperor has reached the point where the gods and humans have declined, he is still an immortal emperor no matter what. As long as he is still the emperor, he must follow an eternal principle. Great emperor, cannot be humiliated. Either you die, or I die, or we both die together. Phew. Phew. The blood condensed in the air into extremely coquettish blood flowers, and the elders died suddenly one after another. Tianji, how dare you? Oh, noisy. Following the last words of Emperor Tianji, an invisible power swept across the entire arena, and the entire arena continued to collapse and collapse. Fortunately, Emperor Lin Hai took action in time, so that the entire arena was not reduced to ruins. Of course, the big reason for this was that the great power of Emperor Tianji was directed against the ancient dragon clan. A moment later, all the ancestors and elders of the ancient dragon clan had died, with no corpses left. It was as if they had never existed in this fairy land. Only the faint smell of blood in the air showed that they seemed to have existed before. After a long time, the whole place was still silent, and his breathing almost stopped. Even Jun Wuodao and other Tianjiao who were fighting could not help but tremble all over. Countless creatures in the stands were trembling, and their whole bodies felt like they were in an ice cellar. They were almost, just almost. They will be buried here. Ah, Wu Feng, you have to die. At this time, with Long Yi's last scream, countless creatures came to their senses, and they all forgot that there was still Long Yi. At this point, under Long Yi's endless curse, he completely fell, not even the powder was left, and was directly annihilated into nothingness. The ancient dragon clan tried to interfere with the rules, and I will punish them. All living beings, please remember that they cannot be surpassed. If there is another time, the clan will be exterminated. Old man Tianji's old voice reaches everyone's ears from the sky, like a death announcement, making people feel like they are falling into hell. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 160. Ha ha ha, okay, I'm very happy. If there are still people who try to interfere with the rules, I, the great Emperor Lin Hai, will kill them to the end. I, Emperor Xuanhuan, am with you. Then, the voices of Lin Hai and Emperor Xuanhuan were also heard in the sky, causing countless creatures to tremble and their chrysanthemums to tighten. Yes, yes, we will obey the Emperor's order. Please obey. The elders of countless forces hurriedly raised their hands and said, they haven't lived enough yet. This is the power of the great Emperor. If you don't take action, you will be dead. If you take action, you will fall. It's just a farce. Everyone, let's continue the battle. Yes. Afterwards, all the geniuses began to fall into the battle again, but the thoughts of several geniuses were obviously not on the battle. It was like playing house, you punch me, I slap you, and finally got angry and directly the war of words began. After all, just now, they were so scared that they almost peed their pants. Who has the heart to fight? They couldn't reach the top 10 anyway, they would just be ruined. At this moment, all the creatures in the room can hear the words, ahem, bah. Damn it, where did we fight? I can't do it. How about trying again? Trouble, just rock, paper, scissors. Hey, what a great idea. Soon, this farce disappeared. Regarding the death of the elders of the ancient dragon clan, everyone did not pay attention at all. It was purely because they were so frightened that Emperor Tianji took action just now. Haha, you deserve it, bah. That is, they are trying to interfere with the rules. If they don't die, who will die? It's cheaper for them. Next, I hope you, Jun Wuodeo, will not forget me and be disappointed. After Wu Feng finished speaking, he slowly walked off the stage. When passing by Shui and Ye Fan's platform, Wu Feng stopped instantly. What's going on? Where does the smell that disgusts me come from? Wu Feng murmured in a low voice, and then looked at Ye Fan and Li Sui who were confronting each other. Could it be, that it's her? At this moment, Shui and Ye Fan had already exchanged a few moves, but they were just tests. It happened that Ye Fan at this time also felt an extremely rich and familiar aura from the previous battle, which was the aura of the system. Haha, body of disaster, I knew it was you who took away my opportunity, shameless. Ye Fan gritted his teeth and said, the Daofixian body exploded instantly, and a strong aura of Dao swept across the entire sky. What are you barking at? I know you, this is the first time we've met. Shui said angrily, she didn't expect this Marquia to be so shameless, and actually said that a person he had never met had taken his things. Haha, stop pretending, I'm sure it's you, the shameless person. Ye Fan ignored Shui's curse. You spoke very dirty. You didn't wipe your mouth when you went to the toilet. Are you humming practicing? If you are practicing stupidly, why don't you say, I am your mother? Why don't you also take a look at your own pussy, take a piss and take a look at yourself? What chance do you have that you deserve me to take, with your 2 kidney-deficient kidneys? Dasabai, do you think that your name is Ye Fan and you are the protagonist? You stick a green onion in a pig's nose, what kind of image are you pretending to do? Shui directly activated her powerful tongue and kept cursing with her hands on her hips. All of this was thanks to Do Wang's teachings. Ye Fan was immediately scolded and was speechless. He had no choice but to do it. The other party's firepower was too fierce and he couldn't get a word in. He even doubted whether he was a time traveler. You. What are you doing? You're really boiling a calf in boiling water. Get lost. I. What am I? I'm really a bat with chicken feathers on it. What kind of bird do you think you are? You bastard, how can you fix it? At this moment, all the creatures were dumbfounded. What is going on? Is this little girl cheating? How can she curse people one after another without repeating them? Ah, my white-haired Lolita, how come? Ahem, I learned it. What kind of hatred or resentment? Looking at the harmlessness of humans and animals, who would have thought that when you curse someone, your little mouth will keep blaring? What a beautiful girl, but it's a pity that she has a long mouth and can't get up at all. Cover your ears, you can barely survive. Minjiao, this. Emperor Lin and Xuanhuan looked sideways at Xuanhuan Minjiao and asked with raised eyebrows, as if they were looking at the good things you did. At this moment, Xuanhuan Minjiao saw the two people's gazes and directly covered her face and said proper subset symbol. I can't. Don't ask me. I didn't teach you this. As you know, I don't know how to curse, let alone say dirty words. The two of them looked like a fool. I believe you are a fool. You must know that in the secret realm of the great emperor, Xuanhuan Minjiao fought with the Confucian scholars for the sake of the emperor's inheritance, scolding many people to the point of almost being autistic. On the other side, Shui was still blabbering. If she didn't tell a cause and effect today, she would definitely blow Yefan's head off. You said I took away your opportunity. Come on, tell me, what did I take away from you? Where is the evidence? Yefan was speechless for a moment. What should he say? Could it be that she seduced his system and then the system ran away? Besides, the system ran away by itself. Isn't this equivalent to saying that his wife didn't take care of her well and that she was talking to someone else? It's like he ran away. In this case, it seems like this is his own fault. No, I absolutely can't say it, even if I'm beaten to death, it's too humming embarrassing. Later, Yefan couldn't stand it anymore. Shui cursed like a mosquito. After holding in his fart for a long time, he gritted his teeth and popped out a few words. Thief Cao, Lao Wang next door. Oh. Shui had a confused expression on her face. Although she couldn't understand what it meant, it was definitely a curse word. You're still scolding? Punch seriously. Shui couldn't stand it anymore, so she burst out with all her energy and rushed towards Yefan. She had to tear Yefan's mouth to pieces today. Flying immortal fist. When Yefan saw this, he was not to be outdone. He wanted to take back everything that belonged to him. Boom. The two of them had the most intimate collision, and in an instant, the entire battle stage made of meteorite fell apart in an instant. The terrifying aftermath of the confrontation swept across the entire venue, setting off a torrential wave of weather. Ah! With a scream, Yefan was blown away like a kite with a broken string. At this moment, he felt that his right hand seemed to have been shattered. Ahem, damn, how can this physical body be so powerful? Yefan stood up, shook his red right hand, and said incredulously. Look at me, I won't tear your mouth apart. However, before he could react, he saw Shui advancing towards him like a small tyrannosaurus. Flower of the avenue. Yefan hurriedly used defensive methods, and in an instant, an incomparable crystal flower appeared in front of Yefan. This was a shield condensed from the incomparable essence of the avenue charm.